Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Facebook Live. I hope this broadcast finds you and your family safe and well. I'd like to start by saying that I don't Facebook, so please bear with me. This is a first for me. My plan this afternoon is to address the questions you've posted over the last week or so. However, I will not be addressing any questions regarding personnel. I've grouped the questions by subject, so they will not necessarily be in the order posted. And my understanding is that this will be saved to our Facebook page for future viewing, and we will also be reposting it to our YouTube channel. Okay, so let's get started. Our first questions are regarding the budget. How is the closing affecting the budget? The extended school closure has certainly had a negative effect on the budget development for the 2021 school year. Currently, the governor has indicated schools can expect a 20% reduction in state aid. However, the currently proposed staffing reductions are not a result of the reduction in state aid due to the pandemic. They are a result of declining enrollment, which results in the need to access some staff after applying our class size guideline. Currently, the average class size at the elementary school is well below the guideline of 25. In addition, and prior to school closure, we had been addressing budget development challenges due to increased expenses in contractual obligations, transportation, benefits, and even BOCES participation. The financial impact placed on the New York State economy has caused by this pandemic has certainly compounded our budget challenges. Next question is, how will the dramatic reduction in state aid affect the district? Again, and as previously mentioned, currently there is a 20% projected reduction in state aid. However, we are not clear on how that might affect the schools. Currently, there are suggestions of cuts along the way, or actually state aid not be given all at once and in times. Our next questions are regarding communication. Why haven't there been any actual robocalls or any update? We use a variety of methods to communicate with you depending upon the urgency. Urgent information is communicated through calls, and less urgent information is emailed and posted on our website. This way, folks can access information at their convenience. While some folks prefer ConnectEd calls and reminders, many others simply do not. Our feedback from our learning community is that when calls are frequent, they become unwanted and ignored. Question, wouldn't it be better to host this on YouTube? Actually, as I mentioned earlier, this live broadcast is being recorded and will also be posted on our YouTube channel probably sometime later today. Our next questions are regarding remote learning. When will the district release a grading policy for fourth quarter? We are currently working on how we will modify grading for all of our grades during closure. We expect to have plans complete by the end of this week, and we will communicate that with you. Our focus will be on not penalizing students due to schools being closed. Next question is, does the district have a plan or working on a plan to modify next year's curriculum pacing guides? Yes, we have discussed making adjustments to the pacing guides, but no plans have been finalized at this time. Next question is, was the third quarter work from home supposed to be used as bonus for all students, or was it left up to the teacher's discretion? The third quarter work from home was to maintain a continuity of learning during closure. It was not for fun. Teachers were to provide students with opportunities to make up their work that was missed during that time, so students could improve their third quarter or 6-week grade from the time they were in school. It seems that there is an uneven distribution of assignments per teacher in each grade. What is administration doing to ensure that teachers are not over assigning work during this crisis in school? Administration would address this matter just as we would if schools were not closed. Parents should first bring their concern to the attention of their teacher. If not resolved, they should then bring it to the attention of their principal. The district has posted daily guidelines for students so parents know about how much time kids should be spending on schoolwork. These guidelines can be accessed on our Continuity of Learning webpage. The district has also developed procedures in place to respond effectively to questions. These procedures start with the person closest to the situation, as it is that person that will have the most information. Procedures also can be accessed on our webpage under the quick link, Have a Question. Why is the district not supporting teachers so if they choose, they could go live virtual meetups like other districts? This is simply inaccurate. The district is fully supporting and encouraging our teachers to provide live instruction and live individual and small group work with our students. I have had that conversation with union leadership and with about 100 teachers just last week. Teachers are legally covered as a teacher while in their role as a teacher, whether it is at school or through our remote learning. As we accumulate a hefty stack of compiled schoolwork, how should the work be turned in? That's an excellent question, and we are in the process of making those decisions. Information regarding turning in paper packets will be available shortly. Will honor roll and high honor roll certificates be mailed home for middle school and high school students who work so hard to receive that distinct honor? No decision has been made regarding recognizing honor roll or high honor roll during the third and fourth quarter. At this time, we are trying to determine who's connected to remote learning and who is not connected. It is our first priority that all children have access to remote learning. The next questions are regarding field trips. When are parents going to be refunded for the Philly 8th grade trip? Unfortunately, I have no additional information regarding the Philly trip refunds other than that what has been shared by Dr. Colson. The business office has been attempting to reach the vendor, but has been unsuccessful during this closure. The community is under the impression that the district was required to pay $20,000 to a hotel in Washington, D.C. because it was not canceled in a timely manner. Administration did learn of an unauthorized contract with a hotel in late January. In early February, we informed the hotel that that contract was unauthorized and advised the hotel of its duty to mitigate any damages. The trip was to take place just before the mandated school closure, March 11th through 13th. And at this time, we have not heard from or have repaid any amount to the hotel. What is the status for Disney culinary trip refunds? The last we heard was that our scheduled flights were finally canceled, and therefore we are entitled to the airfare refund per federal government mandate. The travel agency had contacted the airlines at that time and indicated that they were working on it. Due to the current pandemic, however, we have not heard anything but are checking back with the agent. The next questions are regarding graduation and senior events. Are there contingency plans for graduation? Yes, we are currently planning for either a virtual graduation or a live, depending upon whether school reopens. We are also considering postponing graduation to July. But again, this will all depend upon whether school reopens or it remains closed. Cap and gown information has been posted on the high school's webpage, And we are planning, hoping for the best, but planning for the worst. It is imperative that we honor important events for seniors. I agree totally. However, not knowing if school closure will be extended, we are left with uncertainty. We are currently exploring virtual events, but are hopeful we will return sometime in June. Yesterday, the governor announced during his press conference that a decision regarding school closure will be made by the end of this week. So hopefully we will know more at that time so we may plan accordingly. I know a lot of seniors help to run and participate in fundraisers. Does the district have a plan in place to possibly reallocate the student-raised money? No, the district does not. Student-raised funds are just that, student activity funds. They are not district funds. Club participants, their activity officers, along with their student advisors, make the decisions on how those funds are used. Many venues have already canceled May and June events due to COVID-19, as the venue that was intended to host the Bellport Prom already canceled the event. At this time, we have not made any decisions on June events, so a decision on the prom has not been made. However, if the prom is not able to be held as planned, it will unfortunately be canceled. High school had planned for Honor Society. Is there a plan for the middle school? Similar to Honor Roll, no decision has been made regarding the use of the third and fourth quarter grades for the purpose of meeting or maintaining participation in Honor Society. We may simply suspend counting third and fourth quarter for the school year for the purpose of meeting or maintaining this participation. At this time, again, as I mentioned earlier, we are trying to determine who is connected and who is not connected to remote learning. It is our first priority that all children have access to our remote learning. Our next question is regarding pre-K. I know pre-K is the least of everyone's worries, but these kids are missing their friends and are adjusting to new school environment. If school doesn't reopen, how will this new experience end for these kids? That's an excellent question. And again, not knowing if we will be back this school year, it is a question I'm not able to answer. However, I do know our PTA at South Haven is very active. Possibly, if we do not return, something could be arranged through the PTA at that time. Our next question is regarding tenure. With the crisis that the school and the community has been under, we have not heard any discussions of tenure for the upcoming school year. When will the board make their determinations which staff members will receive tenure? The public would not hear discussions regarding tenure. Those are discussions that occurred during the board's executive sessions. My recommendations are made to the board at the end of the school year, and it is at that time the board will act on my recommendations. And our final question is regarding school reopening. Is school reopening this year? Unfortunately, I do not know for sure if we will be reopening this school year. My gut tells me we will not reopen, but every once in a while, I see a glimmer of hope. As I mentioned earlier, the governor announced yesterday that a decision regarding schools will be made at the end of this week, so more to follow. And in closing, I want you to know that I do recognize the challenges remote learning and this pandemic has placed on you and your family. It has placed the same challenges on administration and our faculty and staff. I'm also confident that we will get through this by supporting each other and trying to create some normalcy to this new normal we are in. As always, I thank you for your patience, understanding, and continued support. I hope you found this broadcast helpful, and if you did, please let us know. And in the meantime, please stay home, be safe, and stay well. Thank you.